All right, let's get right into this tier list. I'm just going to go in order here that these are in, not necessarily chronological, because what the hell? What do we have first here? Dark Side of the Moon. Oh boy, that is going way up here in S tier. Um, I think it's one of the best albums of all time, and it's also one of the most overrated albums of all time. So, am I a hypocrite? Yes, but whatever. Um, I think front to back, just an amazing album. Great Gig in the Sky. Oh my gosh, the woman's voice in that song just gets me going every time. And my favorite song on the album is Us and Them. I can listen to that song over and over and over. But also Time. Oh, the moment when he starts singing "Ticking Away" at the moments that make up a dull day, that drop right there is amazing. It's a fucking eargasm. And the Division Bell. I think that's probably their most underrated album. I'm throwing it up here at A frickin' plus. I just love a lot of the songs on this album. Poles Apart, Marooned. You got a strong closer with High Hopes. I love the sound of the album too. It's a very classic Pink Floyd sound. Very surprising for them to put out an album of this quality in 1994. And then here we have The Endless River. Uh, I'm going to put this one here in the middle, B plus. I actually like a lot of the songs on it. It's just at the end of the day, it's a pointless album. Like that's the biggest critique I have of the album, is that it's pointless. There's no real reason to listen to it. It's 99% instrumental. So it has that one song with the vocals on it, and everything else is I don't get the point of listening to it, but still not bad. And then here we have A Momentary Lapse of Reason. That one is going in B. This was kind of a dip in quality for them. Um, Kind of almost marking the end of their career, or at least a downward swing into the end of their career. There's only one song on here that's memorable, and that's Learning to Fly. Signs of Life is pretty good, honestly, but Learning to Fly is really the only song on here that really sticks out in my mind. Uh, Overall, just a very, very okay album. And the vocals, I remember the vocals on this one not being up to par with the rest of their discography. And here next we have, what is that? Saucer Full of Secrets? Yes. That one is, I'm put that one at B plus as well. I like it better than the Endless River though. Uh, Overall, I have mixed feelings about this album. I really like the song Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun. I think that's a nice atmospheric song. It has a nice beat to it. It's kind of moody too. And the titular song I like too. But then you have Corporal Clegg and Seesaw, which those two really fall flat for me. Jug Band Blues, Remember a Day, they're okay songs. Uh, but yeah, Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun is definitely the standout song on this album. If the whole album was like that, it'd be up here at A plus probably. And next up, we have the final cut, which I think is kind of an underrated album. I'm gonna put it at A tier. It's a good album. It's not great, but there's a lot of good songwriting, I think, on this album. Uh, the Post-War Dream, Your Possible Past. Oh, the Gunner's Dream. That's a good song. Uh, the titular song is also a good one. Uh, but honestly, other than that, not a lot of standout tracks. So I'd say it's 50% a really good album, 50% an okay album, kind of averages out to A tier here. And then we have The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Oh boy, I don't understand it with this one. It's down here for me. I put it. I'm gonna put it at B tier. It does have a couple good songs. Astronomy Domini, I think that's how you pronounce it. Lucifer Sam, and I both ironically and unironically enjoy the song Bike. I think that's a great album closer. But, Interstellar Overdrive is a nice, moody, atmospheric, long song. But I don't know. The production on this one is a little overdone, a little overblown. I it's like they had an idea, a very strong idea, what they wanted to do, but they didn't have the means or skill at that point in their career to do it yet. Overall, not a terrible album, but I wouldn't call it a good one either. But then we come to Adam Heartmother, and boy, I really do not like this album. Uh, it's going in D plus. The titular song that opens the album, I think, is very long and boring and meandering. And then every other song on the album is just like a combination of stupid, goofy, bad sounding. It's just like, I think at one point, one of the members described this album as scraping the bottom of the barrel, and that's exactly right. It, it just sounds like teenagers trying to do Pink Floyd to me. And Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast, that is such a stupid song. Such a bad one to end the album on, too. And next up we have, oh, another bad album, Umaguma. Oh, that's definitely their worst studio album. That's going down there in D tier. Hell no. Oh, what can I say about Umaguma? The live portion's good, but the actual studio album, it's just a cacophony of bad ideas and bad execution. It's like obviously every member of the band wrote their own thing, brought it together, so there's no cohesion to the album whatsoever. It all just sounds really bad. It's bad experimentation. Even the song Grantchester Meadows, which is supposed to be a nice folky ballad song, it sounds overdone and pretentious to me. I did not like it. This album was a train wreck. It was hard to sit through. I sold my CD after I bought it, and I will probably not listen to it ever again. Next up, we have Metal. I really, really like Metal. It's going right up here at the top of A plus. A lot of good songs on Metal. One of These Days, great album opener. San Tropez, I love the atmosphere and the sound of that song. Fearless, oh, that's a good one. Echoes is probably one of their better album closers. I think that song in particular cemented them as a progressive rock band of that era to be taken very seriously. If I'm not mistaken, it was their first song that was over 20 minutes long. Oh no, Adam Hartmother was. Yeah, but that one wasn't good, so it doesn't count. uh, but yeah. Oh, Echoes. God, that's such a good song. Oh, I want to listen to it right now. The remaster that I have on CD is a really good sounding mix too. So I would recommend listening to that. I think I have the 2011 version. Yes, with the sleeve. Oh, such a good album. And next up, we have Wish You Were Here. Oh, man. Woo! Straight to the top. You know what? It's going up here at numero uno because it is the best album of all time. And nobody can tell me differently. Everything about that album is literal music perfection. It has the best use of synthesizers that I have ever heard any band ever use. There's a lot of relatable lyrics in there for me in the song Wish You Were Here and Shine On You Crazy Diamond. I love the comments they make about the music industry at the time. I love the guest appearance of Roy Harper. He really nails it on Have a Cigar. And Welcome to the Machine is one of the most moody, atmospheric songs that I have ever heard. It's in my top 5 songs of all time. Something I think about a lot is how they split up Shine On You Crazy Diamond to be the first and last song on the album. Because up till this point, all of their 20 plus minute songs were one song on the album. It would either start the album or end the album. But this one, they split it up. So it's like a Shine On You Crazy Diamond sandwich. And I think, how would the album be different if, let's say, it started with the entire Shine On You Crazy Diamond song? And I think the album actually would be different. I think the fact that they split it up, it encapsulates the whole album perfectly. It wraps it up in a nice looking bouquet and presents itself to you very beautifully. That's what I love about that song, those two songs specifically. And oh, the songwriting, the instrumentation, it's all perfect, literally perfect. Uh, I have the 180 gram remaster. It is one of the best sounding albums that I have ever heard. The 2011 180 gram that comes with the poster. Oh man, one of the best sounding albums ever. Everything is so crystal clear. The synthesizers, every time they come in, I can feel the tears coming. It's just, oh, they poured their heart and soul into this album, and it paid off. Well, yeah. Album numero uno. And next up we have The Wall, which I'm going to throw right up here into S tier. I think it's that right up there with Dark Side of the Moon. Not quite as good, but right up there. Um, as a whole, the album functions very well. Once you listen to it in its entirety in one sitting, you can really hear all of the ideas come together. I know it's a very long album, but it's an album that rewards you for being patient. And it has two of their best songs in Hey You and Comfortably Numb. Those are very, very mellow songs that you can just put on and chill to. I love it. And I love also how it matches up with the movie. The movie The Wall, if you haven't seen it, is great. It's weird, but it's great. Kind of like the album. It's weird, but it's great. That's my one line review of The Wall. And next up, we have Obscured by Clouds, which I quite like. It's a good album. I'm going to throw it up here with the final cut. I think it's a little better than the final cut. It's a very, very psychedelic album. I know it's a film soundtrack, but the songs themselves work. I think What's the Deal is the highlight of the album, right in the middle of the album. Um, the titular song, of course, is another good one. But in terms of experimentation, this one actually, I think, worked a little in their favor as opposed to, you know, Uma Guma or More. And speaking of More, there it is. More, I'm gonna put it at C plus. I I don't think there's a lot going on with this album. It's mostly nothing, and by that I mean like filler. It's not a lot of like actual Pink Floyd sounding music, which is what I want when I listen to a Pink Floyd album. But there's really not a lot I can say about this album. The Nile song, and probably the only good one. Uh, but yeah, very bland, very much meh. That's my review of Moore's meh. And finally, we have Animals, which is going right up here to S plus. Now, it's right under Wish You Were Here, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's the second best album of all time. I would definitely put it in my top 20. I love it that much. It's very similar to Wish You Were Here. It has that nice sandwich of songs where it starts on Pigs on the Wing, it ends on Pigs on the Wing. It's got a nice meaty center with the songs Dogs, Pigs, Sheep. Just three bangers, one after the other. I'd have to say Dogs and Sheep are my favorites on here. And uh, I, the thing that blows me away about this album is the songwriting. I honestly think that this album is a contender for the best songwriting on any album ever. That's how highly I view the songwriting on this album. And of course, it has a very good remaster. And another thing I love, other than the songwriting, is how you can make the connection between the album and Animal Farm. And another thing I love along with the songwriting is actually the song lengths. Each song, or at least the three middle ones, are very long, and it gives each song a perfect amount of time to breathe and to settle you into the atmosphere of the song. And I just love that. And I love the vocals on the song Sheep, and the guitar work on Dogs, the acoustic guitar. Oh, it's so beautiful. Overall, just fantastic album. I love the album artwork too. Which, if you haven't seen the movie uh, Children of Men, you should watch it because the album artwork shows up in that movie. It's great.